Asato ma sadgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityurma amritam gamaya.
Tasya tasya samno yasvam veda bhavati hasya svam. Tasya vaisvara eva svam. Tasmad art vidyang kardasyan vachi svaramiccheta. Taya vacha svara sampanaya ritvidyang kuryat. Tasmadyagne sarvavantang didrikshadanta evato yasya svang bhavati. Bhavati hasya svang ya evametat samna svang veda. Mantra 25. He who knows the wealth of this Sāman, vital force, attains wealth. Tone is indeed its wealth. Therefore, one who is going to officiate as a priest should desire to have a rich tone in his voice, and he should do his priestly duties through that voice with a fine tone. Therefore, in a sacrifice, people long to see a priest with a good voice, like one who has wealth. He who knows the wealth of Sāman to be such attains wealth. Śaṅkarācārya's commentary. He who knows the wealth of this Sāman, the vital force under consideration, denoted by the word Sāman, which is here pointed out as being the one in the mouth. What happens to him? He attains wealth. Having drawn his attention by tempting him with a mention of the result, the scripture tells the listener, tone is indeed its wealth. Tone is sweetness of the voice. That is its wealth or ornament. For chanting, when attended with a good tone, appears as magnificent. Because this is so, therefore one who is going to officiate as a priest, that is, a chanter, should desire to have a rich tone in his voice in order to enrich the Sāman with that tone. This is an incidental injunction, for if the vital force identified with the chanter is to be realized as having a good tone through the fact of Sāman possessing it, a mere wish will not effect this, and therefore it is implied appropriate means such as cleaning the teeth and sipping oil should be adopted, and he should do his priestly duties through that cultured voice with a fine tone. Because tone is the wealth of Sāman, and the latter is embellished by it. Therefore, in a sacrifice, people long to see a priest with a good voice, as they do a rich man. It is a well-known fact that people want to see one who has wealth. The result, already declared, of the meditation on this characteristic of the vital force is repeated as a conclusion. He who knows the wealth of Sāman to be such attains wealth. Tasya tasya samno ya suvarnang veda bhavati hasya suvarnang. Tasya vaisvara eva suvarnam bhavati hasya suvarnang ya eva metat samnaha suvarnang veda. Mantra 26. He who knows the correct sound of this Sāman, vital force, obtains gold. Tone is indeed its correct sound. He who knows the correct sound of Sāman to be such obtains gold. Śaṅkarācārya's commentary. Now meditation on another attribute, that is to say, possessing correct sound, is being enjoined. That too is having a good tone, But there is a difference. The previous one was sweetness of the voice, whereas this, denoted by the word suvarna, is correct articulation according to the laws of phonetics. He who knows the correct sound of this Sāman attains gold, for the word suvarna means both a good tone and gold. That is to say, the result of meditating upon this attribute is the obtaining of gold, which is the common meaning of the word suvarna. Tone is indeed its correct sound. He who knows the correct sound of Sāman to be such obtains gold. All this has been explained.
Namaste. So, he who knows this Sāman, the vital force, prana, the living energy in all bodies, which is the first step towards self-realization, detaches himself from the gross body and experiences himself as energy. This, by the way, is the secret to Tantra, that especially in lovemaking, it is not simply rubbing two bags of meat together, but it is an energy exchange between the partners. But here, he's talking in the context of spiritual wealth, the wealth of knowing the Sāman is having a beautiful voice, that one has a good tone. And the word translated as tone here is svara. Svara means not only the tone of the voice, like om, nice tone, cultured voice. It also means the intonation or the pitch, the tuning of the voice. Now, in chanting Vedic mantras, there are three essential ingredients. Mantra, the text itself; matra, the rhythm of the text, the poetic meter of the text; and svara. Svara means the tuning, the intonation. That's why proper Vedic chanting is always based on a drone, like a tanpura, because the tanpura is an instrument that constantly chants Om. And then whatever mantra you're going to chant can be chanted with reference to the Om. This is called the Sa, or the tonal center. And the distribution of tones is called raga, or a musical composition based on Vedic tunings, which are not the same as Western tunings. And we've gone over this in earlier series on Vedic music. I'm not going to explain it all now. But the whole point is that the Vedic tunings represent cosmic harmony and pure emotions, rasa, and that these are then used to express the mantra so that its deeper emotional content becomes accessible. So one can chant a mantra in any number of different tunes, but the point is that these tunes should express the mood of the mantra, the relationship of the devotee to the deity being worshipped by the mantra. Then what happens? He gets wealth. And in the second mantra, he gets gold. Now, gold here doesn't necessarily mean physical gold, although that is a part of it. When astrologers look at my birth chart, I have Mars exalted. I mean, exactly exalted. And they say, oh, you must be as wealthy as Bill Gates. Or I guess it's the other guy now. I don't want to say his name. But I say, no, actually, I don't care for money. I want knowledge. Knowledge is the wealth. Not just ordinary knowledge, but transcendental knowledge, realized knowledge, jnana. This jnana is beyond just the information received, but it is the kind of knowledge of direct perception of spiritual reality. This is the wealth that one should aspire to, that one should make all endeavors to obtain. Why is that? Because it leads to liberation. Actually, to have this knowledge, jnana, of the Supreme Self and the relation of the individual self to the Supreme Self, rasa tattva, or ananya bhakti. These are all terms that we have investigated deeply in various series on this channel. And if you get our catalog, which is linked in the video description, you can find all this information if you're curious enough, if you're determined enough to realize the meaning, the deeper meaning of these mantras in the Upanishads. So this is the key, that one should chant Udgita, beginning with Aum, in a nice voice, with proper intonation and rhythm. And this will lead to the wealth of beautiful voice, gold, and deep spiritual knowledge. Aum Tat Sat. Aum Shakti Aum. Aum Namah Shivaya.